in North Sulawesi. So this is a little island called Siladen. Highly recommend it if you're a scuba diver. And we're going to talk about passion on this video. The 3 steps to create a profitable passion, because many people have passions which aren't profitable. And probably for me, one of the most important myths that really needs to be addressed when it comes to creating wealth, which is this myth of following your passion. Yeah, so I'm going to take it on a little bit of a path. I'm going to go through this myth and then the 3 steps to make sure you're doing it the right way around. So why do I say this is a damaging thing? I think you might be watching this already and thinking, hang on, wait, I've been told by so many people I should be following my passion. How can that be wrong? The reason it's wrong by thinking about it in that way is because it isn't passion that makes money. You don't make money by doing what you love. You make money by doing what other people love. So as long as you're focusing at yourself or about what you should be doing, not that it's not important, it is, but in a different way. But if you're starting with that being the base, then it means that you're putting the wrong thing first. So passion is meaningful as opposed to measurable. Money is more measurable as opposed to meaningful. So there's got to be a way to combine the two. You know, living a life of passion does not mean a life of wealth. It does mean a life of worth. So how do you actually link worth and wealth, which are 2 very, very important things that need to go together? Well, it all starts by knowing that this is episode 10 and it's the first time I'm even talking about passion in this way, because there are 9 steps before this that you have to go through to build the foundation, which is solid enough to then grow passion from it. Here, have a look at this. This is quite incredible. This is, I don't know exactly when this was built, but it's a structure, as you can see, which has been here for some time on this island. And a tree, a tree has actually grown right on top of it. Its roots are kind of right down the sides, as you can see. And this is the key to the first 9 episodes. It's about how do you make sure that you have such a solid foundation that anything can grow on it. Because for many of us, we're growing on shaky foundations. And so this is the most important number 1 step, is to set up the foundation. So as a recap, we went through in the first 9 episodes, first of all, stage 1, being clear on who you are, and where you want to go. So clarity is much more important than passion to begin with. And it's actually knowing, here's where I am, here's where I need to go. Who else has followed this same path? You see, I'm on this path right now, which makes it easier for me to get from A to B, because others have followed that same path beforehand, and others who have the same natural talents as you, the same wishes or dreams as you, they've already gone further along, or some of them have further along and left clues behind, right? So those first steps are all about how to be clear on who you are and where you're going. Step 2, the second stage now starts with the foundations of the structure. Here's another of these structures here. And you can see there's actually, like, it's buried now, but there's kind of like a little basement level in there as well. So the first level is infrared level. So we went through the stages of infrared, which is mastering your flow with your time, with your energy, with your money, so that you actually can already create flow moving, as opposed to, you know, shooting passion like a hose into a plumbing system which has got all these leaks all over it, and then you wonder where all the money's gone, right? So this is the very important first step, is discipline with your plumbing, with your flow, and that is the 3 steps we've gone through already. Measure your money, and I go through like the specific playbooks you can do to really make sure that if you're in negative cash flow or you're struggling with your basic personal cash, you get that set first, so you earn the right to now go out and play with your passion, right? Even Superman has to be Clark Kent some of the time, right? It's like, you know, like if he just went out trying to save the world the whole time, he's not going to have the money to go out and pay for the stretchy pants and the cape. So what he does is he goes and puts some of his time into being Clark Kent, and then after knowing he's put enough time into Clark Kent to afford what he needs, he buys the time to go out there and change the world. Same goes for you as well. All right, so the 3 steps which are at infrared level, which we've gone through already, are the steps of measure your money, commit to conduct, and do your duty. And that then leads us from infrared level, which is just really making sure you got the basics right, a bit like learning how to swim, right? So you stay afloat financially. If you learn how to swim, you earn the right to be the crew on the ship. Until then, they won't even want you to be crew. And that's when all the action happens. So that's what we're going to be talking about now. How do you choose the right ship? Passion is a fundamental key to this, but passion isn't the ship. Passion is the fuel that allows the vehicle to be able to move. So think of passions as being one of a triangle of 3, right? If we had a little triangle, then on that triangle, I'll draw the triangle out when we get to the beach, right? Because we're going to head over to the beach in a moment. And one of the most important elements is understanding that passions is what you love to do, so it's your fuel. Talents is what you do naturally well. This is what you learned when you did the Genius test. And again, if you haven't done it yet, you can go back, or I'll leave the links down below. You can actually go and take that test, which allows you to find out what you naturally do well. People are not going to pay you just because you're passionate about something, but they will pay you when you're doing something naturally well. So talents actually allows the flow to grow. Your fuel, which is your passion, is what makes you jump out of bed in the morning. It's what makes it meaningful as you're growing. The third element, money, or the vehicle you're using, is effectively like the ship. I mean, if you had fuel and you were going to head off over the ocean, not going to help a lot if you have no ship. In fact, the fuel on its own is pretty dangerous. But once you've got the vehicle, once you've got the ship, it allows you to then use that passion to fuel you, and that will last for many, many years when the money's not there, or when there's more than enough money there. It's not about the money. So the most important element in all of this to create that triangle is understanding that the danger in passion is that passion can be both a cost and it can also be an asset. It can be something which takes revenue away from you, and it's something that can actually create revenue for you. I'm passionate about scuba diving. I'm passionate about the sea, the sun, the sand, and so are my family, which is why we're here on this holiday. We're not making money on this holiday, we're spending money on this holiday, right? So when you actually start really taking your passions and you think, well, how much am I spending in time, in money in those passions, as opposed to how much am I making, you might find you're in the same category as many people I know who have been told to follow their passions, and they actually end up in a worse situation than if they just went and got a job. And then they somehow convince themselves that's the right way to do it. Not to say that there isn't a better way to do it than just go and do something you don't like. You can still follow your passions, but the most important thing is that you're actually following your passion in a way which allows you, we're just heading into the pool area now, so I'll just kind of show you here, which allows you to be able to make the money while you're actually surrounding yourself with people who are passionate about the same things as you as well. This is the main pool area, as you can see, and we're just going to head through here. The sunset's about to go down here, and I want to draw this little triangle for you so I can show you the 3 steps to take, which really I believe could change everything for this year ahead. So one thing that I want to pause with this idea of consumption is, if you're struggling with personal finances right now, it could be because of overconsumption, just like someone who wants to go on a diet. You're not burning enough of what you're consuming, and we're living in a consumer society, so it's very easy for people to go into infrared and go into negative cash flow, even if they're running a business. But that's a little bit like wanting to go on a diet and then going to your dietitian or your nutritionist and saying, what's my strategy? And your nutritionist saying, follow your passion. What's your passion? And you go, chocolate cake. That's obviously not going to solve the problem. In fact, it's what created the problem in the first place. Right? So as long as passion is a cost, is something which you haven't yet figured out how you're making money out of, you could be the same as many people, where as a result of that, you're going backwards as opposed to forwards. So how do you make it an asset? How do you make it a value? By treating it like fuel. That's how we do it. We've actually found the beach again. So let's give this a go. Here we go. Let's just draw this out on the beach. Right, so here we go. Let's see if we can see this. Here we have a triangle. All right, there we go. Here we have talents. Talents is what people will pay you for, much more than your passions. Here is your passions. Passions is what's going to create your fuel, and here is your vehicle, or your value, which is going to grow as time goes on as well. So what do I mean by that? I'll give you an example. I could be here consuming by being just a member or a guest at the resort, as I am, and then it'll cost me money to be able to be down here by the beach and go out scuba diving. Or I could decide that I'm going to go and get a job here, right? That means that I can actually be earning money while I'm also around my passion. Or I could go about buying a resort, which is what we did in Bali. And that's allowed us to be able to upgrade the vehicle to the next level. These are all the steps that you're going to find in the coming episode in the series. We'll go through every level. I could end up being an investor in the resort, so I'm not even running it anymore, which is even higher up in that level. Or one thing that we just did at our alchemy retreat that we just ran last weekend is we had our whole team there. Simone was there, Sandra was there, our team helping with our entrepreneur resource plan, where in this coming year, we're going to be creating a series of resort locations and beach clubs for entrepreneurs, co-working spaces, incubators in paradise spots all around the world. And if you'd like to be part of that, by the way, we'd love you to be part of it. We're going to have a travel club. We're going to have an ability for people that want to be part of that to connect with each other when they're going traveling and being able to get to the right resources, the best Wi-Fi, the best locations. If you're interested in that, just go ahead and leave a comment, right? So that I can keep you connected with what we're doing and how we're doing it. But if we actually take the 3 steps, what are the 3 steps we need to follow? Step number 1, the most important step, is you need to pinpoint your passion. You need to know what your passions are. How do you do that? The way you do that is you take the passion test. So we have teamed up with Chris and Janet Atwood, who created the passion test. It became a New York Times bestselling book. We now have got an online version of that test, which is linked to Genius U. It's free. You can just go and click on this video here, and you'll be able to find out exactly what your top 5 passions are and how aligned you are with those passions as well, right? That's one thing. Second thing is, after you know what your passions are, get connected to the people who have figured out how they are taking their passion and turning it into profit, because not everyone's figured that out, but there will be people out there who've done that. So for example, how am I doing that? Knowing that one of the things we're going to be growing is our entrepreneur resorts. In January, I'll be in Maui, and I'll be doing some videos from there. In February, I'll be in South Africa. In March, I'll be in Australia, in both East and West Coast, Brisbane and Perth. And in April, I'll be in Necker Island with Richard Branson, Yannick Silver and the Mavericks. And each time that I'm going from one place to another, I get to live my passions, but I'm learning. And I'm also being of value within those different communities as well. In January, I'll be with the Transformational Leadership Council, which is Jack Canfield, John Gray, and a whole series of amazing leaders around the world. So I'm learning when I'm there, as well as meeting up with resort owners and co-working spaces in Hawaii to be able to connect up with our passions and how we can be of value out in Asia as well. So like I said, if you're interested in that, connect up, because I'm really looking for a really exciting year ahead for those who want to go out there knowing how they can work from anywhere, learn from everywhere, basically run your business from an iPad on the beach. And that's what I'm doing right now today here on this beach. So step number 1, know your passion. Step number 2, connect with the people out there who already have figured out how to connect their passion to profit. And step number 3, find ways to be of value to them before you go running out trying to start your own thing. Right? That's going to be one of the most important things we're going to go through, is that until you find out how you can be of value and you learn the vehicle by bringing your own talent and your own time into it, you're constantly going to be struggling to turn that passion into profit on your own. So those are the 3 steps. You decide for yourself. What is it that you're going to do with this coming year? It's holiday season, so you might be taking time off right now, but think for a moment about 2015, the year ahead. What do you want to do to make sure that you're surrounded by the people passionate about the same things as you? What do you want to do to make sure that you are living an extraordinary life, which is allowing you to be able to be meaningful as well as measurable, to be living a life which is creating worth as well as wealth? And with that being said, once you decide to follow those steps and you connect with your passion, you'll be amazed at how quickly you start connecting with others that already have found ways to be able to turn that into profit. In the coming episodes, you're going to see us go through the steps to build those vehicles up. So with the fuel, with the engine, which is your talents, and with the vehicle that you're going to be creating, you're going to be able to go off to any distant horizon of where you want to go and when you want to get there. Have an absolutely fantastic week ahead, and we'll catch up with you in the next video. One final thing, make sure if you have any questions on anything we've covered so far, put it in the comments, because we are going to have a comments and Q&A video coming up very shortly. All right, happy holidays. We'll speak to you later.